The allegations made against me by Durian Rider are simultaneously so serious and so ridiculous that many of them have been passed by without comment. In that he's accused me of so many things and said that he wanted to actually apprehend me, beat me up, take me to a police station, and then use even more violence against me if the police here in Thailand failed to arrest me or put me in jail. Given the seriousness of that, the bleakness of that, people have not even bothered to comment on, understandably, the fact that he has also been saying again and again that I'm fat. Right now, I'm not fat, but simple-minded, that they respond to the challenge posed by someone like me by saying, you're fat. As I say, at the moment, I'm not fat. Now, the reality is, nobody has even bothered to mention this issue, because saying that I'm fat, because the other allegations are so serious. Anyway, but despite that, and despite his continuing to, whatever, harass me, threaten me, defame me publicly, it opens by saying, if you're upset, I can sympathize. You guys have already seen my steez. You've already seen how I roll. If you see the video with the apology to Freely, if you feel bad, I'm actually down to help you and make you feel better, even if I don't like you. Because you know what? That's what morality is all about. Ethics is not about helping people you like. It's not about how good you are to people who agree with you. Okay? It's actually about how good you are to everyone. It's about how you behave under pressure, under the worst type of crisis, in the middle of a war, in the middle of a famine. It's about how you help people when you've got nothing to give.
Yo guys, so today we are going to meet one of my mentors who does one.
I can't believe any of you people respect someone as a leader who brags that he's been to prison and he was a grown man, insults another grown man by saying he's fat. Further about it. Those of you who have written in to disagree with me, do I respect your opinions? Do I find them valid or intelligent or well-informed or interesting? No. I think the responses to what I have to say about pet ownership have been astoundingly stupid, counterproductive, people indulging in self-delusion, and they've avoided addressing any of the points I raised in my video. So why should I respond to what you have to say? There has never been the slightest stirring of a fucking ethical impulse from this woman who claims she's so ethical that she's going to save the world by putting on a skin-tight t-shirt in the wrong language over her C- body and presumably causing an uprising among the masses in Chiang Mai, most of whom don't read English. Life isn't fair. And sometimes these questions of who's good looking, who's fat, and who's thin, sometimes they are relevant to the job at hand, to the task at hand, to the questions that are being asked. Where I'm talking about this fundamental problem that in veganism we have models who are not really models, beauty icons who aren't really beautiful, but we're not going to get there by flattering each other. We're not going to get there by telling each other you're so beautiful when you're not, you're so great when you're not, I'm not the kind of person who would refuse to call you stupid in a private email straight to your face when I'm explaining to you that the reason why I don't want to talk to you anymore, the reason why I'm giving up on you, is that you're too stupid for me to spend the time doing it. And I've got to say to you guys, my MO in running this channel still hasn't changed. I'm still making these videos so that one day my daughter can see them You guys may think I'm a jerk, but you got to be a jerk to some extent to survive in this world. One question I think I've never been asked by anyone on Patreon is simply, how do I actually feel about Swayze? What do I actually think about Unnatural Vegan? I think that's because regular viewers of my channel already know, without my spelling it out. I do think that Unnatural Vegan, Swayze, is stupid and immoral and dishonest. And I think that her conduct on this issue, in response to the substance at the core of the issue, and in response to myself personally, has really demonstrated in a powerful way, for me, just how stupid and immoral and dishonest a person she is. I really lack the words to express how much contempt I have for the counterproductive, self-righteous stupidity of Unnatural Vegan in doing her crazy little hatchet job on Sorsha. I hope you will feel the depth of my sincerity when I say to you that Unnatural Vegan's statement on this is so moronic, is so lacking in redeeming qualities, that it has inspired me to make a video praising Durian Rider. Because when I put those two videos side by side, Unnatural Vegan's response to this controversy next to Durian Rider's response, Durian Rider looks like a genius compared to Unnatural Vegan. Durian Rider is bringing some real content. He's bringing some sincere reflections. He's bringing... This is the first time I've stuttered on camera. Jesus Christ. Oh, I just got back from the gym. Is Unnatural Vegan really so stupid? And all I had to say, and the only private message I ever sent to that guy was, don't act like it's hard to find me. Okay? VegSource, for you to say to me that I can fight my own battles, fuck you.
Being a guy in the vegan community, it's about like a 70 to 30 ratio.
It's almost guaranteed you're gonna get laid, is what you're trying to say.
Anytime someone, and I know this might upset people, if they have in their bio like ethical vegan, like they identify as that, that literally makes me cringe, because I'm just like, you can't just go vegan and then all of a sudden say, oh, I'm an ethical person, and everyone else isn't living this ethical lifestyle. It's just like
nobody lives a cruelty-free lifestyle, and it's a cruelty-free lifestyle, and I think it's kind of a little, it comes across as like condescending, or like that
I'm
you're better than
Right.
someone else.
Yeah.
It's like, no, like, yeah, it's not approachable, and it's like, it's not, yes, it appeals to people who are vegan, but because they agree, but yeah, exactly, people who are not vegan don't
it's just
like it.
À bas le ciel.
From my first contact with the digital demimonde of veganism, I've seen people pretending that vegans were brilliant when they're not brilliant, when they're imbeciles, when their writing is garbage. We all get into this game, this small town mentality of pretending they're witty and charming and brilliant when they're not, pretending they're humorous and intelligent when they're not, and pretending they're beautiful when they're not. When Nita and Randa are in Los Angeles sitting in the waiting room next to the other young women who are trying for that same part, do you think they stand out as especially good looking? No. They're not good looking. Period. 16 is not even the decisive factor in that. She's not just 16. At the time, she was hideously ugly, horribly overweight, stupid, foul-mouthed, ill-mannered, cruel, and a member of a cult that I'm a critic of, that I'm a well-known critic of. Julia was an ugly, stupid, foul-mouthed teenager who was extremely overweight, and just that I'm not saying somebody's an idiot. Like I'm not calling her an idiot. I don't regard Hannah Chloe as being as stupid and worthless as Vegan Ava. Sorry, so you can jump in anytime, babe. But I mean, from my perspective, somebody like Canada Jinsan is somebody who wants to be exceptional without earning that exception. And when she first went to Japan as a young white woman, a high school dropout, somebody with no career and no ambitions and no future ahead of her, she went from being a nondescript, somewhat ugly, presumably learning disabled, white Canadian young woman to suddenly being the center of attention, to suddenly having a kind of unearned fame in Japan. I did have one really memorable conversation with Canada Jinsan via Facebook messages. And I wrote to her because of her series of videos that were new at that time. She made videos dealing with immigration law, immigration policy, and national identity in Japan. And at the University of Victoria, I just formally researched and wrote essays on that exact topic, including I looked at the specific laws. And I have never been more convinced that someone I was talking to was learning disabled and or literally retarded. I think she is someone who has very serious mental impairment, very serious problems. And years later, Jezebel, the same researcher who talked to me from Jezebel, the same journalist, you can hear the interview I gave to Jezebel on this channel. The audio recordings of that were uploaded here as YouTube videos. Terrible journalist, terrible interview, but I managed to say a few interesting things in that interview, despite the fact that the journalist herself was as dumb as a barrel full of thumbtacks rolling down a staircase. Anyway,
I don't think she's got good skin. I don't think she's got a great face. I think her lips are too big, to be honest with you. You know, they look like too big.
I mean, I'd look her right in that fat, ugly face of hers. I'd say, Rosie, you're fired.
Do you believe in...
Maxine Waters, a very low IQ individual.
Okay, question? Yeah, go ahead. Sure. She's shocked that I picked her. No. She's like in a state of shock.
I'm not thinking, Mr.
That's
President.
okay. I know you're not thinking. You never do.
Look, my ego is not in the game in that way. I mean, if someone calls me an idiot, they're entitled to their opinion. I'm not going to feel stupid because somebody on the internet has called me an idiot. It happens. It's part of the game. Now, the reality is, nobody has even bothered to mention this issue because saying that I'm fat because the other allegations are so serious.